All right, I have 7 o'clock. I will call the town board meeting for April 3rd, 2023 to order. First item on the agenda is the approval. Patrick, we have any changes?
No changes from staff, Mr. Chair.
Board have any changes?
Well, no.
Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as noted.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item 3 is approval of payment of bills. Steve, you
I
sign?
signed off on the checks. Move to approve payment of the bills.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Item 4 is approval of minutes from March 20th, 2023. Anybody have any corrections?
Mr. Chair, I believe the attorney had some corrections.
Yes, I do. On page 6, the first full paragraph, it reads, "Can a sober house operate successfully at the 5-person limit?" It should have read, "Can a sober house successfully provide treatment at the 5-person limit?" And then on page 9, the first line, it says, "The proper accommodation so the person receives the property therapy, it should be proper therapy."
Saw nothing else. Mr.
that it?
That's it.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the amended minutes as noted.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? That motion carries. Item 5 is the consent agenda. Like we have about 9, 10 of them.
I would propose removing item 5G, Northeast Youth and Family Services Annual Report, and item 5J, Gem Lake Recycling Event.
I'll second that.
All right, motion's made and seconded to approve the consent agenda, minus those two. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, you want to take Northeast Youth Family Services first?
So Northeast Youth and Family Services is an organization that has assisted the community with what I'm just going to term the ability to help those that may have some mental health challenges or issues. And this particular organization has different funding sources, one of which is billing the different municipalities, White Bear City, White Bear Township, Gem Lake, Arden Hills, Roseville, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a few. However, the way it is billed is not on a per-use basis. The charge, the fee, is assessed based on population. So we have roughly 11,000 residents in the township. Our annual assessment or a fee is going to be less than, say, White Bear City, which has a larger number of residents, and it's going to be more than some other municipalities that have less. So when you see the annual city contract, the annual township contract of $22,856, that is based on a formula assessing population. The total cost of all services, which is listed there at $10,821, is the best estimate for the costs that were incurred by residents actually utilizing the services. And it's in many cases, services are provided free of charge or on a sliding fee scale, and the resident does not pay for that. It is provided to them, I'll say free of cost, but nothing is ever free. But this is the most, I'll say the best way that the organization has come up with how to provide a needed service and yet still cover their costs. I wanted to make sure that that was explained, because if you look at the two numbers, you might think, well, wait a minute, what's the right number? The annual contract is for $22,850. That's been probably pretty close to what it's been the past couple years, and I think for next year it's going to be probably $1,000 or $2,000 more.
Yeah, speaking with Tom Kelly today, I think it will be a little bit more, because this is last year's numbers, right?
Correct. And their fiscal year is different from ours. They go from July 1st through June 30th for a couple different reasons, but we wind up paying what they're going to come up with the methodology for the next fiscal year, which we will pay in January of 2024.
Got that, Stephen?
Yes, I understood what Scott was saying, but for any resident, though, if there's questions on this, they can see this, can they not, as to what the
Yes.
services are?
Yes.
Because I think you covered, that covers mental health, diversion services, and elderly services.
Correct. Elderly assistance, and a lot of, mental health, diversion, elderly services. There's a lot of partnering with the school districts to provide on-campus assistance, helping, and there's all sorts of statistics. I really want to have the executive director, Angela Lewis DeMello, come out and give a presentation to you all. I think it'd be very helpful. The last time we had Jerry Romoka, I'm sorry, that's been several years. I think it's always pertinent that this is a service that is provided to residents and they can take advantage of it.
Yeah, we used to have this presentation at the annual meeting, but it's been a while. I don't, Patrick, can you reach out to her to schedule something
Be happy to.
for a future town board meeting?
And just for clarification with her, tell her we are not the city of White Bear Lake Township.
I've been working on this for a while, but
Not to be too sensitive, but that's.
No, but there is
There is
a city of White Bear Township somewhere in northern Minnesota?
No,
not here.
no.
All right, so then I need to, unless there's any other questions?
No, so I would move to approve that consent agenda item, the annual contract for Northeast Youth and Family Services.
Mr. Chair, point of clarification, would we like her to appear at the annual meeting or at an executive meeting? It's
I
her
don't,
pleasure.
I'd rather have her at a town board meeting.
A regular town board meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is something the public needs to get the full presentation of.
And again, I know she's appeared at other city council meetings.
Yeah, and since there are residents that have been using it, it's nice that if others hear it and feel that it's valuable, they may take advantage of it. So,
All right, I believe the motion was made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
All opposed? All right, that motion carries. Then we have item 5J.
Item 5J is listed as Gem Lake Recycling Event, and I think that needs to be clarified because what is going to happen, this was discussed in detail at the Utility Commission the past couple months. The township has their annual cleanup day, and it's been very successful and I think very well run the past couple years.
Yes,
After
yes.
a lot of partnering with Republic Services. Earlier this year, end of last year, the city of Gem Lake reached out and said, hey, would we be open to the idea of them partnering with us or taking advantage of it? And this was, again, discussed thoroughly at the Utility Commission meeting because the idea is, sure, we'd like to partner, but we also want to make sure that we cover costs because while we are providing this service to the residents to come and dispose of large unwieldy objects, the township does pay Republic Services for that because they have their trucks, they have adequate safeguards if it's a hazardous material, which I know is on a separate weekend, but they have to rotate trucks in and out depending on who's bringing what. There can be a lot of junk that is hauled off. So anyway, the township pays for that. The Utility Commission looked at the price that's been paid to Republic the past few years and a real rough estimate of dividing that by the 11,000 residents came up with a dollar amount per resident. Now, not every resident,
Per household.
per household, sorry. Not every household takes advantage of it. There's years that I go and drop some stuff off and there's years that I don't. But if you just average it over all households, they came up with a per household amount. And that was the amount that was proposed to the mayor of Gem Lake. And using the same logic, that dollar amount times the number of households and a guess as to how many might be participating. Now, the cleanup day for White Bear Township is over 2 weekends. The first Saturday, which is, I wrote it down, May 13th is Household Hazardous Waste Cleanup, and that's actually open to all residents of Ramsey County. So anybody can participate in that as long as they're a resident of Ramsey County.
Just to be clear, the township has no part in organizing or running that event.
Okay, but it's at the same location of Otter Lake School. Okay. The cleanup day is on May 20th, and that is limited to White Bear Township residents. We do have personnel at the site that are checking driver's licenses. So there will be coordination to make sure that those residents from the city of Gem Lake are allowed to also participate and drop off whatever they need to drop off. And we're going to reevaluate it. The staff and the commission will reevaluate how it went once everything is done. We receive the bill from a public, and it'll be a debrief and decide, do any changes need to be made for next year?
Okay, I think I need a little clarification on the identification of residents, because there is a problem of driver's licenses in the township. Our chair is in a different zip code. Does yours say White Bear Township on your driver's license?
Nope.
Mine doesn't either. So you had to have proof of residency, which could require a utility bill to clarify that you do live in the township. So I think that's the clarification, that you have to have identification. If your driver's license doesn't say you live in the township, you have to bring something that says that you live in the township.
Correct.
The township border, or the 55110 border, is the freeway. So anything west of the freeway turns immediately 55127, which is Vadnais Heights, North Oaks. So anytime I even fill anything, I just put St. Paul, because otherwise it's confusing.
Sure.
Yes.
Your zip code is still 55110 though.
It is, and half the time when you get mail, it comes from St. Paul anyway,
Yep.
so
So
it's a mix.
there's a boundary issue right there.
So, so a utility bill would be,
Yep, staff handle that pretty well for the last couple of years.
Yes.
You have a member who checks them in using a spreadsheet of all of our addresses, and we're also lucky that the staff member that we've assigned for that post has lived here forever.
He knows every road in the
everybody.
township.
So we have a little bit of an advantage that way, but we will be requiring the same of Gem Lake residents, and we will also have a printout of all their addresses for their households as well.
so Scott, you did mention that you calculated out a price for Gem Lake, but if there was additional residents, they're being,
The mayor was pretty open to that.
Yep.
It's just a best guess at this point, and we'll see how many people actually participate.
Well, just to give you an idea, they tried to sponsor their own here last year and had nobody show up.
Really?
They even offered free food,
Free food.
hot dogs. Nobody came.
Do we offer hot dogs?
No, we don't.
Oh my.
Just the sparkling personality of White Bear Township staff.
All right, is this a 1 year?
It is reviewable annually.
All right, so does that mean we can amend it every year?
Sure.
Because I would like to, I would like to put a date on this instead of just saying annual special event,
Sure.
because it's a little bit ambiguous. I'd like to see what was that, the date?
May 20th.
Yeah. So if we could add that into the resolution, I think that's what this is.
That'd be just fine. The mayor is aware that we'll be reviewing totals of people that show up. I was very hesitant to throw caution to the wind, to sacrifice the efficiencies that we've achieved over the last couple of years. But staff does think that the impact of Gem Lake will be small enough to where it won't interrupt that.
and Patrick or Chad, is there any liability we're picking up for another municipality participating? Do they need any insurance certificates to protect the township?
It's not really a township event.
Well, it is. The second one is not Ramsey County, it's ours. You said it was our personnel,
It is,
our school.
but it is being put on by Republic. So I would
Our
assume that our
request.
liability is covered with our contract with Republic, Chad.
Yes, it would be, as long as we're not, I mean,
I'm not worried about us, because
well, and I understand what you're driving at, it's Gem Lake too. No, as long as we aren't managing the event, we're not really responsible for it.
The only township employee is going to be the one checking people in. Otherwise, the ones that are actually putting stuff in the
All
trucks
Republic
is
staff.
Republic personnel.
Well, now is the time to make sure that is the case, because it involves county road, people in and out. If someone gets injured and they decide they want to pursue this legally against the township, public services, Ramsey County, Gem Lake,
Otter Lake School District, they'll throw everybody in there.
I just want to make sure that the township is not picking up something.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send a letter to the insurance fund, insurance trust, just to verify they're satisfied if they want us to take any steps.
That satisfies my concern. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion on this?
No, again, I think that we just need to rename this as the Township Cleanup Day and then make the change in the, I guess the more important one is the resolution change.
Yep.
Right.
No, so otherwise I will move to approve Township Cleanup Day as amended.
I'll second that.
All right, motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right,
Thank you, board.
that motion carries. All right, moving on. Item 6 is old business. We have none. So we'll be going back to, let's see, item 7, which is a public hearing. It's a continuation for Universal Forest Products. So I just need a motion to open up the continuation of the public hearing.
I'll move to open up the continuation of the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, Mike, are you going to give us an overview here?
Yeah, I wanted to just give the town board a quick conditional use permit history in the town for the UFP site. Down on the left, or the lower right, is the original submittal in 1983 to start the wood treating operation. That is the first time the town had documented a conditional use permit. In 97, that is the site plan on the top here. There was a request for a 2,200 square foot building. That was this building up here. And you can just, in your packet is the current submittal for UFP. In April of 2000 was requested to add this portion onto the facility. This is the original facility there. And then in 2007, they requested to do some modifications to this building here and change some, expand operations. I believe they were requesting a second shift. I don't know if that happened or if it currently is. And then in 2010, request to build this 810-foot square building. It was designed for bulk cutting of lumber. Then we go up to 2010 again, a request for these 3 storage buildings here was, the conditional use was amended and those buildings were approved. In 2014, the dust collection system on this facility here was amended and approved. Then we go to May of 2021. The town board, as you can see on the graph from the architect, the town board approved these buildings right here. I believe these buildings were up also. The town didn't understand what they were asking for. The town didn't realize those were as part of the requested changes. And that brought November of 2022, when the conditional use permit was amended to reflect exactly what the site plan shows. That was approved again in November 2022. There was conditions added onto the conditional use permit. And we've been working ever since to get the items resolved. Currently, permits to actually construct the buildings and repair the buildings have been issued. The utility permit has been issued. And the fire suppression system permit has been issued. I believe UFP was requesting some additional time. Their contractor that is making repairs to the buildings asked for, I believe, May 20th for a completion date. There's no formal action needed by the board tonight. I know there in the amendments to the conditional use permit in November, the town board requested an evaluation of the progress, which was discussed a month ago.
All right, Steve, questions, comments?
Well, I guess, Mike, in a nutshell, outside of the original date to have this done, like in April, it's weather-wise, whatever-wise, contractor-wise, it needs to go to May. But they're making progress. All the permits have been satisfied.
Yes, we've reviewed all the submittal, permit applications, submittal, fire department. They all have been approved and issued
Okay, so that's,
for the completion of the project.
so we're just waiting for the actual evidence that the project is done.
Yeah, there'll be inspections involved with the project.
No questions.
All right, Mike, the May 20th, I don't want to say deadline, but the May 20th target date, is that for everything, sprinkler and building repairs?
I guess I haven't heard the fire suppression schedule.
So the 20th is just for those building repairs?
That's what the contractor asked for, building repairs by May 20th.
So what the board asked, I don't know, 3 months ago now, from UFP was we wanted at least all the paperwork handed in, applications handed in for permits, plans, everything.
Correct,
And that's all been done.
correct.
So now it's just a matter of them following through to complete it on a timely manner.
That's correct.
All right, any other questions of Mike?
No.
Otherwise, I would look for a motion to reopen for public comment.
I'll move to open the public comment portion again.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I know we have a UFP representative. If you want to state your name and address and
Brian Golanowski, 4677 Province Way, Hugo. I'm the Regional Director of Operations for UFP White Bear Lake LLC at 4141 Hoffman Road.
so according to Mike, this May 20th, is that doable?
I think so. We've not heard anything from the contractor stating that it isn't all systems go, just as planned.
Okay, and then what about the sprinkler suppression?
The underground utilities are starting as planned the third week of April, and the above ground, the in-building work has already, materials have been ordered, they're fabricating in their shop, and they're going to try and get that in so that as soon as the underground's in, they can hook it all up together. And then actually you will have one more permit from the alarm company if you haven't seen that yet. But we got all that in and submitted, I think.
And then, Mike, that would have to have a final approval from you and the fire marshal when it's completed.
That's correct.
So hopefully, without any delays, we can have this thing wrapped up this summer.
That's the goal.
I would ask, stay close contact with Mike if there's a delay of any sorts, because this is delayed on and on and on. Please take the proactive approach versus having him to have to come to you.
Lesson learned, we will do that.
Thank you.
Scott, anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak to this? Hearing none, I need a motion to close the public portion.
I'll move to close the public portion of the hearing.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, unless there's any further discussion, we don't need a formal action here. It's just a matter of Mike keeping on top of this to make sure this gets completed. Anything else? Chad, do you have anything else on this?
No, you accurately describe what we have to do tonight, yes.
All right,
And we have closed the public hearing. We're not continuing it.
No, yes, we've closed it. We're done.
all right. Thanks, Brian. All right, moving on. 8A, this is new business improvement 2022-5 street improvements. Approval of, shouldn't that be 2023? No. No, it's 2022. Approval of street improvements. Larry, are you going to take this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair and Town Board. The first one we're going to talk about is what we're calling the Gilfillan Area Street Improvements Project, but it includes more than Gilfillan. It improves Gilfillan Lane, Greenhaven Drive, Woon Lake Circle, Crescent Curve, Meadowlands Drive, Birch Bend Lane, and North Birch Lake Boulevard. The plans for this project have been underway for design for a little while here now, and the plans are now complete. We presented the plans to the public at a neighborhood meeting on March 27th to receive some feedback. And, we got a little feedback there, and the plans are now complete. We talked a bit about the plans at your Town Board executive meeting on Friday, so I won't dive into details. But tonight we're looking for approval of the plans and specifications officially, and to authorize bidding for the project. We're proposing a bid opening of April 26th, and those bids then would be brought back to the board for your consideration in May. Thank you.
Steve, questions?
Just for clarification, so once the bidding process is done and it brings back to the board, that is the point where the board makes the decision to plus up or down as far as moving forward, correct?
Yes.
So at this point in time, this is part of the ongoing process in order to make considerations for our street improvement project.
Yes.
Okay, I have no other questions.
Scott?
Nope. I think we have covered it pretty thoroughly, and Steve kind of summarized it really well.
And we've been obviously looking at this for a number of exec meetings, so. All right, hearing no other questions or comments, looks like we have a couple of recommendations here. First is the approval of the plans and specs.
I'll move to adopt the resolution approving plans and specifications for improvement 2022-5.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? That motion carries. And then the second one, Steve?
I'll move to adopt the resolution ordering advertisement for bids for improvement of 2025-5.
Do I have a second?
2022-5.
I'm sorry, yes, you're correct.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that motion carries. And moving on to 8B, this is improvement 2026. These are different roads for us.
Yes, in a similar manner, the Hammond Lake or Hammond Road and Township Parkway are proposed for improvement this summer as well. And again, the plans and specifications are complete. We chatted about this at the executive meeting on Friday. A neighborhood meeting was held on March 27th as well for this project. And just again, looking for approval of the plans and specifications and authorized bidding for the project.
Just to clarify, these are two separate projects. They will be bid separately. They could be awarded to the same bidder or two different bidders.
Correct.
Depending on,
Yep.
okay.
And they're both bid this on the same day, just half an hour apart.
And then a question, Hammond Road, from where to where?
All of Hammond.
Okay, from the township offices all the way across the intersection at Otter Lake Road?
To Otter Lake Road, sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, again, we have two separate motions on this. One is the approval of plans and specs.
I'll move to adopt the resolution approving plans and specifications for improvement 2022-6.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries. Then we have one for advertisement for bid.
I'll move to adopt the resolution ordering advertisement for bids for improvements 2022-6.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? That motion carried. Larry, will these go out immediately for bid then?
Yes.
Okay. Any feel for how many active bidders are out there, or?
I bid a project recently. I think there was 5 bidders on that in a different community. It just depends. I think some of these projects might be attractive to some smaller contractors
Or local ones?
or more local ones. Yep. Because they're small enough that they could manage. So I think you could see a few more bids on projects like these.
All right. Any other questions, comments? All right, thanks, Larry. All right, the last item on our agenda is 8C. This is a national opioid settlement. Patrick, you going to take this?
I'll defer to the township attorney on this one, other than to state that we've already passed a master agreement with this about 18 months ago, I believe, right, Chad?
Correct.
Yep, and this is going to amend that.
Yes, exactly. It's amending it, and plus, in addition, the state's requesting that we adopt another resolution to support the settlement. The purpose being it will increase the amount of money that the state will receive under the settlement. So at this time, I'd recommend you adopt the resolutions as proposed.
All right, Steve, questions, comments?
No, I have none, actually.
Scott?
We had approved this back in 2021, and at that point, we had kind of a rough idea as to how much the township should theoretically get, and this could theoretically increase that by,
I wouldn't count on it.
okay.
I mean, that's speculation, to be honest with you, but yes, it could theoretically. I mean, that's what they're requesting we do, is to adopt the resolution to supposedly increase the size of the settlement amount that goes to the
To the
state.
state. Yeah.
To the state, and the state will decide. And this is, again, in an effort to try and alleviate addiction to opioids or educational material.
It's more educational.
Education, yeah, it's just the point is to compensate for costs already incurred due to the opiate problem, and also to help with education in the future. So it's a combination of compensation and proactive education.
Trying to avoid future problems.
Exactly.
Is this the same resolution we adopted in 2021?
No, it's a different one.
It is? Okay. Because they said, so it's an amendment to the original one?
It is.
Yes.
All right, Steve, any other questions?
No.
Scott?
Nope.
All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So if the memorandum the resolution that's in our package, that takes the language that you want for the amendment, because the general instructions are just agree to approve the memorandum. So I'll move to pass a resolution approving the memorandum of agreement between the state of Minnesota and local government and authorizing participation in national opioid settlements as outlined in the
That's
packet.
correct.
Thank you.
I will second that.
All right, motion made and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Ed, if you want to come over tomorrow, we can work on signing it electronically.
All right. We have no added agenda items. It's open time. Anyone wish to speak, please state your name and address.
Ralph Tilma, 4294 Oakmead Lane. I'm here tonight to make a motion that we extend the winter parking restriction from April 1st to April 15th. Given what happened this weekend in my neighborhood, it didn't go well at all. We had people that were on the street and they were plowed in. We had to get the sheriff out to get them out. The street was so narrow that you could not pass the school bus and another car in the opposing direction. So it's my feeling that we should extend the winter parking restriction to April 15th.
Well, one thing, Ralph, I know we've got 50, 60-degree weather coming next week. And,
But it all happened this weekend.
no, I know. But you're just saying for this year, you'd like to see that done?
No. Forever,
Future.
in the future.
Mr. Chair, if I may, it sounds like something the Public Safety Commission should weigh in on before the board makes that decision.
Well, also Public Works would have a say on this too. Obviously, we've seen winters like this before, and then we've seen winters where there's no
You
snow.
never know.
You're right.
And if, I would suggest that the town engineer talk to some of the snowplow drivers and ask them what it was like plowing Oakmead Lane and Fisher Lane and a few others in my neighborhood. Ask them what that was like. You know, they're out there when it's dark, and these cars are buried in snow. It's a hazard to them. And what's the township going to be doing when one of the snowplow drivers hits one of these cars? This car was buried in snow completely.
Was it parked on the street?
Yes. These cars were parked on the street. If you want to drive down Oakmead on the way home tonight, you can see some of us still left on the street. It hasn't melted, and it won't for a while.
Has that been a problem earlier in the season?
Yes, this one individual has been parking on the street all winter long.
Is that more of a conversation that needs to be had with the sheriff?
Oh, I visited with the sheriff today about this one individual who has a Wisconsin plate and feels that he's above the law because we can't enforce that very easily.
Well, the first citing, Patrick, is just a warning. Second one is a
Just a warning.
citation.
It's just a warning, and that doesn't do much good. They need to get a ticket.
Well, I know, that's what I'm getting at. The first one is a warning. Second one is usually a citation,
Yeah.
which is, I don't remember the number, $40?
What is it,
Sound right?
Mike? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's right in that neighborhood.
What, a parking ticket is
It's the
$40?
same as for watering restrictions, $40, pretty much.
That's a township fee, the water restrictions, the parking is a county, state.
County fee, okay.
Well, I tell you what, Ralph, what we will do is we will send it to Public Safety, that commission, and if you'd like, you're more than welcome to sit in on that. And we will also refer this to Public Works, because this is they have a big say in this too.
I'm interested in pursuing the conversation about, rather than just extending it, enforcing it when it's supposed to be in effect. If you've said it's been violated all year long, I guess I don't remember hearing from the drivers from the snowplow drivers that was a problem.
I think there's problems in several places in the township, but our snowplow operators make do considering the
They
hours.
work around it, I'm
Yes.
sure they do. This year we got a lot of snow, so
Well, the people who park and get plowed in, when they feel the need to use their car, I guess, they leave and they don't shovel what was left on the roadway.
That's true.
Ralph, is Oakmead a 60-foot road? Do you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. But what's left from the snowbank that's left from the plow stays there. The plow is not going to come out tomorrow and remove it. And I can't shovel it, so, because it was a lot. This snow was pushed up over this guy's trunk. That's how much was there, you know.
And we have some narrower roads that, especially in some of the older communities, that are really, really tough right now, where it's one lane either way without anybody parking on them, so.
Yeah, well,
But if the road is plowed curb to curb, they can park on the street.
I think so.
not overnight during the
yeah.
winter restriction.
For the winter regulation.
I don't think that's what you're asking.
No, I mean, if it was a plowed street, you're not saying they can't park there at all. You're just saying overnight, they should not be parking there.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
I want the overnight parking restriction moved to April 15th. So we're going to get another snowstorm. And, and I've been here in Minnesota, and we've had snow in April 20th, a lot.
I've been fishing opener in the snow.
Right, so April is still questionable. I just want the overnight parking restriction extended to April 15th so the snowplow drivers have a chance to get it off our streets.
Well, Ralph, we appreciate you bringing that to us, and we will look into it.
Yeah, it's been a problem most of the winter. Maybe it's people that aren't aware of our parking restriction, but that's fairly common in Minnesota, or have overnight parking.
We try to post most of our roads with that restriction, where it actually says the parking restrictions on a posted sign on the roads. I don't know if there's one in that area or not, but that's something else I'll check on.
Well, one other thing, reading this ordinance, there's also a restriction in there about you're not supposed to be on the street after 1 inch of snow falls at all.
Right. Okay, we'll do our homework. Thank you, sir. All right, anything else? All right, hearing none. I need a motion to receive agenda materials and supplements.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We adjourned at 7:41.